Ni hao equals racist? Dear Paprika, recently there was a news story saying a MasterChef Australia contestant, Sarah Tiong, claims it was racist to be greeted with Ni hao ma. She was on a telephone interview with a radio station and the host greeted her in Mandarin, then in Cantonese, Lei ho ma, because she was unsure which dialect Tiong spoke. Tiong said on her Instagram that she put the phone down immediately and claimed it was racist, tone deaf, and insensitive of the host to assume Tiong was Chinese and could understand the language. I don't even know how to make sense of the whole matter nor Tiong's attitude. When I was growing up, my school friends and I often played a game to see how many greetings we knew from around the world. In my travels, it is always nice to hear a familiar language, of course. Sometimes people get it wrong with me. A Chinese born in Malaysia but cannot speak Mandarin. When I was in Turkey, all the kids I met shouted "Konnichiwa" when they saw me. I explained to the first few children that I was a Malaysian. They didn't know what it meant, so I had to explain the difference between Malaysian, Chinese, and Japanese. After a few rounds of explaining, I got tired and just replied "Konnichiwa" to everyone who greeted me in Japanese. I remember a time when I was studying in Australia. I was working in the children's church one evening and some girls came to see me. They told me they could speak Malaysian and proceeded to put their hands on their chests, bowed slightly and uttered "Selamat datang." I had a good laugh. They had watched the Tourism Malaysian advertisement on Australian TV which showed a group of smiling Malaysians welcoming tourists with "Selamat datang" while placing their hands on their hearts. I explained that it meant welcome in Bahasa, but the girls ran around all over church greeting everyone with "Selamat datang" that night. I had a good laugh at their antics. In both cases above, I was not offended at all. In fact, I was appreciative of people's effort to connect with me. Another funny story is the surprised looks I usually get when going for a job interview. With a name like mine, people usually assume I was a girl. I don't get angry when people assume my gender. Back to the case of Sarah Tiong. It is as if the world has gone mad. It is not racist to greet someone in another language. It is not racist to assume the race of another person. It is not racist to assume the mother tongue of a person. No, it is not racist at all. If someone greets me with "Ni hao ma," I would simply reply "Hao" and proceed to inform the person that I cannot speak Mandarin even though I'm Chinese. I would not be offended because the person did not mean to offend. If a person came up to me and said "Ching chong ling long ding a ling long," of course, I would be offended. If it was a stranger, I would simply walk away. If it was someone I knew, I would reply, "I really didn't expect you to behave in such a childish way." Here's another funny story. As you know, I'm now looking for sponsors to help me achieve my dream of cycling to China. I called up a potential sponsor and explained my project. He replied in Mandarin. I sheepishly told him I could not speak the language and offered to speak in Hokkien. He could not speak in Hokkien. "What about Cantonese?" I asked him. I could speak basic Cantonese, but he couldn't speak the dialect either. So the two of us Chinese Malaysians conversed in Bahasa. I know it sounds funny even though it shouldn't be, since that is our national language. You'll be glad to know he was receptive in sponsoring me. When I travel, I try to memorize a few local phrases. Hello, thank you, how much, and cheers. People are usually appreciative of me trying to speak their language. If a person wrongly assumes something about me, I don't get angry. I simply correct him politely and that will be the end of it. For instance, if I was at the home of an Australian family and I'm told by the host in all seriousness, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you dog meat, the national food of China," I would be appalled, to be sure. It would be appalling that his general knowledge is so poor. So what would I do? Remembering that I'm a guest in someone else's home, I would simply smile and explain, actually, I'm Malaysian. I'm Chinese, but I was born in Malaysia. Thank goodness you didn't serve me dog meat because I don't eat dog. In any case, I don't think the Chinese in China eat dog meat either. I would not get angry or be disgusted by the host. There's no need to embarrass the host. After all, he was only trying to make me feel at home based on what he understood Chinese people ate. So what if it's outdated and wrong? At least he tried to do something special for me. Now, if I was invited to a German home, it would be disastrous to greet my hope with a hearty Sieg Heil, followed by a Nazi salute. However, saying Guten Tag and Auf Wiedersehen would be much better. Dear Paprika, please learn as many greetings as you can. It will help you in your travels. You will meet strangers who can become friends with just a friendly Hola or Vanakkam or Sawadee Krap. Your loving father, Daddy. P.S. I would not dine in Sarah Tiong's restaurant for fear of offending her with words.